asking whether the rape victim is going to be a grievance or it is going to be a revenge. Yes, certain situations has been making us to think largely, like for example, the recent past cases which has happened in Hyderabad, Farida, and also Uttar Pradesh, and other situations, is looks to be a lot of revenge is been done, in the sense like a politician acting on behalf of certain lady, and where it was a purely revenge, and on a roadside people have been burnt. All these things need to be taken into a larger scope, but at the same time, when we are taking into a larger scope in these areas, we also need to be broadly discussing on the law side also. Why? Because we cannot say that on one point of a law that yes, this is going to be implemented, whether a penalty or a crime or a punishment of jail, all these things need to be broadly discussed, and nitty-gritties need to be looked into. Why? Because it should not become a other side when we have been discussing on the crime or punishment side for a smaller things. So we also need to today discuss in a larger length on these three subjects, and I wish you all the best to all of you. And at the same time, I will also try to listen all of you and understand that what need to be done and what need to be focused, and bring it to the attention of the Chief Justice of India. Wish you all the best, and thank you for giving me an opportunity today by the Legal Intelligence team. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful speech. And good evening to one and all present here. Today from Team Legal Intelligence, we welcome you to the National Debate Competition. And for the Team A, we have the topic that whether the capital punishment should be granted in Indian courts or not. So we have around 11 participants, and we are going to start. And before starting, I would request sir and the core team members who are filling the score sheets to write the name of the participant and fill the marks according to the score sheets. So our first participant is Miss Shalini Singh. Are you there? Miss Shalini Singh, are you there? Miss Shalini Singh. Okay, so I think there's a problem. So we'll move on to the next participant, that is Ankita Sinha. Miss Ankita Sinha.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone. Myself Ankita Sinha. I have completed my.
Can you just make a video on and?
Yeah, it's on. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on. Fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. I think you're aware of the rules and regulations.
Yes. Is there any specific you can?
No, the ones which were provided.
Yeah. Okay. So should I start?
Yes, I'll request the core member to just check the score sheets and just give marks accordingly.
Sure, you can start, Ankita.
Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. Myself Ankita Sinha. I have completed my law degree last year from CCS University only, and First, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to participate in this activity. Thank you so much. My topic is basically the capital punishment, and I support this punishment, and I really personally realize, I strongly believe that it should implement in our judicial system, because the reason is over the few last years, what I observed is basically committing the heinous crime, like you say, the child abuse, child trafficking, sexual assaults, even sodomy, supplying adults to teenage, etc. All kind of such heinous crimes. These are becoming very often, like day-to-day kind of news, which is, I think, not should not be acceptable in our society. And I think this is the alarming situation. We should come up and we should stand together and should oppose it, strongly oppose against this such heinous crime. And I like to justify my answer. I like to justify my views on the basis of 4 grounds, which is given by the famous campaigner. The name is Michael Hayworth, who said that why it is fundamentally important to abolish the death penalty. He has given the 4 grounds. I'll justify my answer on these grounds only. First is, it's cruel. Yeah, I know it's cruel. He was anti-death penalty campaigner. The first ground was the cruelty. It's cruel. So I must say, the person who is committing heinous crime doesn't deserve something, doesn't deserve any kind of leniency. And the second is degrading. The system is degrading. So I must say, the person who is committing the heinous crime is also degrading the society itself. And inhuman, yes, it is inhuman, I can say, but the person who is indulged in some inhuman activity should get something, inhuman in return. We cannot say any kind of leniency to him. So, and the last point is what about the families? Yeah, I accept this. The family should not suffer, but we have to look into that. That what kind of what the options we are left with. Fine. So, and is it really suggestible? Is it really safe to allow such person who's committing, who is indulging such, who has that kind of psychology and such a criminal psychology? They do they really deserve to be with this family in the society? I don't think so. And 3-4 questions I want to raise in my support in supporting my statement is, first is it really fine? Is it really suggestible to allow such people for another chance? I don't think so. These people are actually seeking for another chance to improve themselves, and I don't think so. And the second thing is, what kind of messages, means not imposing the capital punishment and heinous crime, what messages we actually giving to the society. And the third point is basically is there any, like in India, in developing country like India, is there actually any rehabilitation, static or guaranteed rehabilitation process in our system? And if not, then on what basis we are taking our society to the risk? Believe me, our coming generation is going to blame us, because they would definitely saying that our forefather did not take the right step at the very right point, and now they have to suffer from such things, from such society. So I must say that this kind of leniency, not imposing the capital punishment at the very stage we are looking forward to have the long trials and all. This leniency is really what I feel is a greatest opportunity to such people, such ill-minded people, or we can say ill-minded, criminals. So I must say that leniency in justice should not encourage criminal-minded people as an opportunist. We are not here to make them opportunist. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ankita. And sir, do you have any question or any other from the core member team? You can ask just. I'll request everyone to just fill up the score sheets, and if anyone is having from the core team and sir also to ask any question to her.
Questions will be asked after the rebuttal round.
Okay, and so the next participant is, thank you, Ms. Ankita again, and our next
Thank
participant
you.
is Advocate Raju Mistry. Raju Mistry.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
you're audible. Yes, you're audible.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Advocate Raju Mistry. I am supporting a capital punishment because from the beginning of the constitution, uh, death penalty was normal for first 5 years, and thereafter, in 1955, death penalty was given. Descriptional power was given to the judges, and earlier it was a normal punishment. And I support the capital punishment because that capital punishment deterrent will be criminal for committing crimes. It is cheaper for the government to kill murderer than to keep them in prison for duration of their life. Society has a merits to punish the most violent criminals by taking their lives. Some violent criminals are really very hard criminals. They deserve to die. And many people believe that if someone murders someone, they have already given up their lives, human rights, and that includes their right to life. Punishment should be according to the crime. Unless you take the drastic action, drastic action, especially in the case of rape, murder, and terrorist attack, the situation will not improve. We kill an enemy at the border because we know that it is in the best interest of our country. So that why not sentence someone to death if he has committed an heinous crime against the citizen of this country or work against our country? It is strongly deterrent to criminals. Continuous of hanging as a mode of execution come up before the Supreme Court in Dana versus Union of India in 1993. And in this case, refused to hold made of hanging as being a violation of Article 21 of Constitution because at this such a criminal should be hanged, and rightly said by my first Ankita Sinha said the capital punishment should be given to the hard criminals, and that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Raju Mistry. I would like the core member to fill up the score sheet. And if anyone is having question, so we'll move to the next participant. That is Mr. Rahul Marka. Mr. Rahul Marka.
Yeah, good evening to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good evening to one and all. Honorable and most reverend chief guests and the authorities. I just thank you one and all for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be a part of this debate program. This is Rahul Marka. I am an BLLB student. I am from Telangana. I am in my third year now of BLLB 5 years on degree course. First of all, I just wanted to tell everyone that I am completely against the death penalty It is not because it is a cruel act. It is just because I feel that it is, particularly it is just my feeling. I feel that those without capital gets capital punishment. Once again I repeat, those without capital gets the capital punishment. See, in India, most probably when we hear about the capital punishment, most probably we just the people who get this capital punishment are the people who attempted the rape and the some kind of terrorist activities. But most probably it deals with the people who are accused of rape cases. So here just we have to think and we have to understand whether the implementation of death penalty can stop the such kind of violence against the women. And we have to remember that this I just wanted to tell a few things which I have read in the news and the internet. The countries like Chile and Brazil are not implementing the uh, this death penalty, but the crime rate there is very less comparing to the countries which are strictly implementing the death penalty. So here there is one recent survey of uh, NDTV. According to these recent figures from the National Crime Records Bureau, police registered 33,977 cases of rape in 2018, which is approximately 93 per day. It is in India 93 per day. So we have to think, since the it is the death penalty system is present since long, is it implementing properly? See, we have to think and we have to know the death penalty is being implemented mainly because of the media pressure and some kind of political pressure, and there is even gender bias and there is gender bias and even the regional bias. I just wanted to tell an example. The Nirbhaya case took place in Delhi, which is in North India. So the people somehow they were caught, and finally, because of the high media pressure and the high pressure of the people of a particular place, the people got hanged, which is a correct thing. I also support it. But here I want to just tell everyone a small incident which took place in our city, in my city. A 9 months baby, my neighbor, 9 months baby got raped. I hope everybody is aware of it. 9 months baby got raped and she was killed brutally. She was just laying beside her mother during the night on the terrace during the midsummer. As it is too hot, the people took her to the terrace and she was sleeping just beside her mother. The idiot took her away from the side of her mother, and he took her and raped her brutally and killed her and packed her in a cover. Finally, some good man, I really hats off to him. I respect him. The judge, he he implemented the death penalty to that particular person. And for a few days, the hangama started in media and so and so. He should be hanged, he should be hanged, he should be hanged. Okay, the death penalty has been issued to him. And after a few days of issuance of the death penalty, he was proved that he is mentally not okay. I don't know how far it is correct. And he was sentenced to life imprisonment. And I am sure that for some Shivratri or Navaratri or whatever it may be, he will be released and he will be out properly, and he will be enjoying and he will be doing the same things and he will be harming the society. So we have to think whether these things, the death penalty is being issued or imposed properly. And there are some there is some survey regarding the India Today, which clearly states that it is said that what is actually needed are effective long-term solutions like prevention and protection mechanism to reduce crimes, improving investigations, prosecutions, and support for victim families is most needed than the death penalties. But in our country, it doesn't happen, and the laws and the political pressures will never permit it to happen. What simply happens is, take a person, if he is having some good capital, he will not get capital punishment, and if he is poor and if he is not having capital with him, he'll get capital punishment. So I strongly oppose capital punishment on this basis. Thank you, and I'm sorry if I had hurt someone's views. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rahul. And I would request our co-members and sir to fill the score sheets. And also to the other participants that kindly note down the points of the rebuttals so that you can cross. So the next participant is Shahrukh Sheikh. Shahrukh Sheikh. Mr. Shahrukh Sheikh. Okay, so I think he's not here. Okay, so I'm getting a question that when the questions can be asked, okay, we'll do it in the rebuttal grounds. And also there's suggestion and recommendation grounds. So we are going to do it after this, after everybody completes their speech. So we'll move to the next participant, that is Soumyajit Roy Karmakar. Soumyajit Roy Karmakar.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
you're audible.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Greetings to honorable judge and the panel members. I am Soumyajit Roy Karmakar from South Calcutta Law College and will be speaking for the motion. And I firmly believe that the capital punishment should be granted in Indian courts. As my fellow speakers have critically explained what the basic of capital punishment is, that is the death penalty, I will directly come to the main point. The capital punishment debate is the most generally relevant debate, keeping in the situation that has been brought by today. Capital punishment is an integral part of the Indian criminal justice system from time immemorial. Increasing strength of the human rights movement in India, the existence of capital punishment is questioned as immoral. However, this is an odd argument, as keeping one person alive at the cost of several other persons is absolutely morally wrong. Now, moving on to why it should be granted in the Indian courts. The first legal challenge to the constitutionality of the death penalty came in 1973 in the case of Jagmohan Singh versus State of UP, in which the petitioners argued that the death penalty was against the constitution. The Supreme Court, however, found out that the death penalty was a permissible punishment. Article 21 in the Constitution expressly states, "No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law." This has been legally construed to mean that if there is a procedure which is valid and fair, then the state by framing a law can deprive a person of his life. And the Supreme Court has time and again always said that it is that the death penalty is in the statute books to act as a deterrent and for those who are threat to society. And it is also, and they have also upheld this in rarest of rare cases. So what is the criteria? The principle as to what would constitute as the rarest of rare cases have been laid down by the top court in the landmark judgment of Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab. Supreme Court formulated certain broad illustrative guidelines and said that the option of awarding sentence of life imprisonment is the option of awarding the sentence of life imprisonment is absolutely unquestionably foreclosed, then only the death penalty will be awarded, and it is left upon the court's discretion. Even the 20th Law Commission in 2015 also came to the conclusion that getting rid of the death penalty as a whole in terror-related cases as well as highest form of rape cases might compromise national security as well as and tranquility of the state. Before giving a verdict on whether or not the death penalty should be abolished, few things must be considered. Although India has now stood up firmly behind retaining the capital punishment, the judiciary saves it for the heinous of crimes, which occurs on extremely rare occasions. If we take the number of people who were executed in the last 2 decades, only 5 or 6 have been given the death penalty. Thus, not only do the courts exercise their power to avert capital punishment in extremely rare cases, but also many of these death sentences are commuted to lifetime imprisonment on grounds of health, family conditions, pregnancy, etc. The highest judicial tribunal of the country also from time to time given authoritative pronouncements and made it very clear that the provisions for death sentence are not violative of Article 14, 19 and 21 of the Constitution. Thus, the provisions dealing with death sentence are not opposed to the Constitution, but care must be exercised in every case to look into the circumstances and facts very clearly. Many people will also talk and voice about
You
the
have
reformative
2 minutes
theory.
left.
Yeah, sure, thank you. Many people will talk and voice about the reformative theory of punishment as well. And I agree that it can work fruitfully in cases of reformation of non-habitual offenders. But in some cases, it does not work smoothly because a hardcore criminal cannot be reformed. If we accept it, then criminals will repeat the same type of offense time and again. And in a country like India, we often see that when a gang leader or some mafias are arrested, they tend to operate their gangs even after sitting in a jail. Even sometimes, some criminals wait patiently for their imprisonment tenure to end, which is in most cases 14 years. They wait patiently for their tenure to end so that they can take revenge from the policemen or the lawyers or the judges who sentence them to life imprisonment. This can be very dangerous if capital punishment is squashed away entirely from a criminal justice system. And this will definitely and unquestionably increase the already increased crime rates in our country. That is why, instead of trying for the reformation of the criminal minds, they should be punished. Thus, it can be said that reformative theory will be more effective if it is intended to supplement the capital punishment rather than replace it altogether. I will just take 5 more seconds and I have to conclude by saying that hardened and professional criminals hardly respond favorably to any reformative ideology because they are incorrigible offenders with whom crime is not much a bad habit, but it is an ineradicable instinct in them. For such offenders, deterrent punishment is perhaps the only alternative. Even psychologists say that behavior which comes under the domain of habit cannot be changed so easily. And it is contrary to the principles of natural justice. That is, the aggrieved may not be rewarded, but the guilty person must never go unpunished. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Samji. So I would request the poll member and sir to fill the score sheets. Our next participant is Dharavat Ravi. Mr. Dharavat Ravi. Mr. Dharavat Ravi.
Hello, myself Dharawat Ravi.
Sir, your video is
Hello,
not
myself.
visible.
Audible now?
Yeah, you're audible, but anyone can see his video? Yes, now it is okay.
Myself Dharawat Ravi. I have completed my LLB last year. Now I am practicing junior advocate in Telangana. I am supporting now today's topic capital punishment imposing in Indian courts or not. I am supporting the capital punishment. Already few participants have told about the regarding history of the capital punishment imposing in Indian courts. Now I'm telling the Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab. In case in 1982 SCC 648, Supreme Court clearly held that in rarest of the rare cases, capital punishment must be imposed, like heinous crime, brutal murder. In those cases, capital punishment must be imposed. It is clearly Supreme Court has told that in Bachan Singh versus State of Punjab. Now I am telling and supporting to capital punishment. In the International Convention on Human Rights, Article 6, Clause 2, it's told that every nation have the right to impose the capital punishment, but after completion of the due process of law. In India, first capital punishment has imposed after independence is Nathuram Godse. After that, many heinous crimes, terrorist attacks, everything has done in India, but due to all terrorist attacks, all Indian citizens are affected, many are injured, many are victim families now also suffer. I am telling one example why, because capital punishment is imposed. You can take one example, the Kasaf case, one of the terrorists. He was the most terrorist. All trial Tada court has confirmed the capital punishment. After that, High Court has also confirmed it. After the Supreme Court also has confirmed it. He was a very costly prisoner. And Indian government, central government has given too much budget to allocate budget to for his expenses in prison and maintain security to him. It is a waste of all the time and money of the Indian people. But all the trial court has confirmed that terrorist has utilizing all his legal right. He was going to the pardoning power to president, and he was going to the Supreme Court. After that, also implementing the capital, implementing the capital punishment. So this all the pardoning to the government to implement in capital punishment to the terrorists. And second point, you can see in Nirbhaya's case, trial court has confirmed another example in Nirbhaya's case. Trial court has confirmed. Okay, I will finish now. And in Nirbhaya's case also, trial court has confirmed the capital punishment to the accuser. After that, he was utilizing the till end of the, he can file a creative petition in Supreme Court, he can take a pardoning power, all that. But Indian Constitution having given to right to life, at the same time, accuser don't have to kill to any another person. So capital punishment must must impose in all Indian judicial system, in Indian courts. And in another view of my opinion is, Indian courts must follow the retributory chain. At the time, in a reformative theory, change the character of criminal. But if in like a democratic country in India, like it cannot be possible. So you already in IPC, only less offences or 7-8 offences only capital punishment, having the capital punishment. That all that offences all proved after due process of law, it can be confirmed. So the capital punishment must be imposed in all these crimes and all rape crimes and abuse, sexual assault, all child rape. In the all courts, recently in a BJP MLA's case, it's not confirmed the capital punishment, it confirmed the imprisonment for life. Unnao rape case. That is, the punishment much more than to impose a heinous crime. My opinion is that the one. So capital punishment not imposed. Some people are not imposing the punishment. Tomorrow they will argue the.
We have to wrap up because we are.
So capital punishment is not imposed in all cases. Thank you, ma'am. That's all my points to complete.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dharavat Ravi. I would request the core members and sir. Our next participant is Dr. Archana Vedantam. Dr. Archana Vedantam.
Hello. Am
Yes,
I
ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. Before we present, I may be permitted to introduce myself as Dr. Archana Vedantam, studying first year LLB, LLB student of Sultan Ululum College of Law, and my co-presenter Vedantam Mohan Krishna, third year LLB from JC College of Law, who are presenting our views on the topic granting more capital punishment in the Indian court accomplishes no better purpose that cannot be achieved by extending life imprisonment.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you that like right now we are not allowing any co-presenters. Like you can present your view differently and your brother can present his view differently. So that will be.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Is that fine? Yeah. Thank
you. Thank you. Okay, so I would like to convey our gratitude to you all for giving us this opportunity to present before this august forum. So, can capital punishments kill even crime along with killing criminals, or will it only kill criminals without addressing the root cause of the crime by which the crime keeps germinating again and again? I opine that the annihilation of people by capital punishment cannot be a real solution to crime problem, as it fails to address the root cause of the problem. Annihilating the crime by analyzing the roots of crime is more important than merely annihilating criminals. For example, Nathuram Godse's case. It was the first death sentence in independent India. Did he regret that he did some wrong before dying? Did it deter other people from thinking like him? No. Terrorist Yaqub Menon in the Hotel Taj attack case in Mumbai was given capital punishment. Did it stop any terrorists from choosing the terror path? No. Can there be a redemption when there is eternal justice? Like unrollable is the stone. It was eternal must also be all penalties. I agree. No deed can be annihilated. How could any capital punishment undo the wrong deed done? No. We see the death of a criminal is a less productive method of deterring others than the continued example of a man living in a perpetual slavery kind in chains and fetters in iron cage. Executions are physically identical to murder, where both kill, where mutilators are mutilated. Some studies are propounding to show that homicide rates rise temporarily after each execution, presumably because of imitation. It is evident that states without the death penalty, like New York, they are generally less barbarous than countries with the death penalty. Many research studies propound that if punishments are severe, men are naturally led to perpetuate other crimes to avoid the penalty of the first. The countries and times most notorious for the severity of penalties were always those which with the most bloody and inhuman actions and most atrocious crimes. Because as punishments becomes more brutal, the mind of men, like a fluid, it rises to the same height with that which surrounds it. It grows, hardens, insensible. For example, Pakistan awards death penalty for rape, which logically makes us think that it deters people from committing rapes. Still, according to the rights firm Justice Project of Pakistan, which gave its report to BBC, even though rape is treated on par with terror under their law, nothing has changed. Rape and gang rape cases are progressively increasing while conviction rates remain abysmally low. Even Afghanistan gives death penalty for rape. Mohammed, executive director of the Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission, which also publishes data on rape, said that the capital punishment on its own would never be enough to deter rape or encourage women to seek help in any justice system. After many years of insightful research and discovery, Sinner concluded that legal punishments fail to deter the crime, but do not forget to teach men to do the criminal acts without getting caught. Capital punishment, instead of acting as a deterrent, it could even lead to perpetrators making sure the victims are left dead or in no state to make a complaint or recognize the perpetrator. The retributive theory assumes that the offender could choose between right and wrong. But in crimes of passion, the passion overcomes the feeling that the crime is wrong and it will be punished. Passion is always irrational and never can be restrained. It makes the criminal blind. So the severity of punishment can't stop a crime. According to statistics, most brutal crimes were the crimes of passion. Crimes committed by irrational persons or by rational persons in the moments of irrationality. So capital punishment may not deter such acts. Most psychiatrists tend to think of all criminals as sick persons who need treatment. Psychiatrists call them emotional or intellectual disorder suffering patients. There is medical evidence showing how criminal's brain is different from any normal man's brain region. Some social psychologists say that the healthy man never tortures others. It is only the tortured who turn into torturers. Lucifer effect tries to explain how the transformation.
Ma'am, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay, Lucifer effect says how the man transformed towards evil. According to this, situational pressures are mostly to blame for the horrifying acts committed by ordinary people. The best way to combat evil is to be aware of the system that creates it, while understanding and analyzing crime contests. Okay. So many psychologists and investigators argued that situational factors are responsible for many brutal crimes. Okay, so I would like to give a suggestion that every brutal criminal must be interviewed in media with too many reflective questions to make the masses aware of the crime's root causes, which further makes the people think sensibly and reasonably enough to join hands in reducing crimes in the society. Crimes cannot be avoided only by punishments and government systems and policemen. It needs a synergy among all the citizens to make the society they live much safe and livable place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would request the core members and sir to fill up the score sheets. Our next participant is Mr. Vedanta Mohan Krishna. Mr. Vedanta Mohan Krishna.
I don't think he's here.
Okay. So we'll call up the next participant, Mr. Faisal MP. Mr. Faisal.
Hello.
You're audible, but your video is not.
Yes, it is on. Video is on.
Actually, I think there is some glitch caused. Like you've been stopped.
Now?
No, it is not.
Anyway,
no, the video is. Yeah, now it is fine.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Fazal. I'm from Kerala. Thank you for this opportunity. In this debate, I'm totally against the capital punishment. Here I am trying to disclose that capital punishment is a retributory law and it must be abolished not only in India, all over the world. Since 2019, there is 106 countries abolished capital punishment all over the world. Here may be arise a question that what is the reason for governments to bear the expenses of prisoners, including food, clothing, and safety of the prisoners? It may be arise that question. I'm arguing in the light of existing laws, the legal maxims, and the international treaties. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution guarantees the protection of life and personal liberty to every individual and states that no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. The provision is applicable not only for the normal people, but it is also included for the prisoners. Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of persons. Right to life is one of the basic human rights and is available to both either to prisoner or freeman. It has been adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations on December 9, 1998. That promote and implement all human rights by adopting necessary measures. Meeting the prison expenses by the state is not an offer or a charity to the prisoners. It is the basic human rights and it is the responsibility of the state. When we look back to the history of Indian judiciary, all order of sentence of death, there is a word noting. It is that rarest of the rarest. It is the doctrine that rarest of the rare. It is the ground for the imposing death penalty. Since there is no statutory definition for the what is the rarest of the rarest means, there is always controversy arise each time when the court awards death penalty. I am concluding my topic. In India, our judicial system following the reformatory theory of punishment. The death penalty is against the reformatory theory. The capital punishment is retributive punishment. Retributive theory of punishment followed hundreds of years by the human beings and it proved that it is a failed punishment theory. Who can create retribute by the human's mind? Who can? Humans, there is another issue. In our democratic republic state,
You have 2
nobody
minutes left.
okay. In our democratic republic state, nobody gives the power to our system to kill a human being. Even the constitution not giving the power to kill a human being. The law should be reformed time to time. Otherwise, the growth of the society will be in doubt. The murderers and criminals are not born. The babies are only born in the world. I hope the law can reform the bad persons into good and the law can create a better world of tomorrows. Death is an escape for the criminals from punishment. The rigorous life imprisonment must be the greatest punishment in a state. The humans have no ability to give life, so that we have no right to take a life. Killing a human by the system is not also apt for a civilized society. The capital punishment must be unconstitutional. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Faisal. Our next, okay, I'll request the 4 members to fill the score sheet and sir also. I would request Rupam sir to let Mr. Vedanta Mohan Krishna to enter. He cannot enter.
There is no one in the waiting room.
Okay. So Mr. Vedanta Mohan Krishnan, are you here?
If you are
Okay,
here, you
fine.
can just write in the chat box. I'll unmute you.
Yes. Okay, so we'll move on to the participants. That is Shalini Singh. Miss Shalini Singh. Miss Shalini Singh.
Yes, he's here.
Miss Shalini Singh, if you're here, kindly start. We are running out of the time.
He left.
Okay, so I think there's a issue. So our another participant is Mr. Shahrukh Sheikh. Mr. Shahrukh Sheikh.
He's also not here.
So we'll wait for 3 minutes for the participants to join. And if within the 3 minutes they don't appear, we'll start with the rebuttal rounds.
I think Dharmender is left.
He has not submitted, like I have texted him.
Okay.
Dharmendra Giri, are you here?
Just put a notification on the group to join these 4 peoples. Okay. The rebuttal round would be of maximum 3 minutes. If someone is exceeding 3 minutes time in the rebuttal round, then marks will be deducted from his or her score.
Okay, I think Mr. Mohan Krishnan is here. So you can start. Okay, sir, Rupam sir, I think you can open your mic.
Yes, yeah. Mohan, you can start.
Yeah. Yeah, good evening.
Mohan, you are mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted myself.
Okay. Start from the beginning, please.
Good evening, friends, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Before I present, I may be permitted to introduce myself as Mohan Krishna Vedantam from 3 years LLB student of Jagarlamudi Chandramouli College of Law. My who are awarding more punishment is defined as deprivation or suffering inflicted by a court of law as specified by the law broken by convict. Even in that sense, lifetime imprisonment causes more punishment than killing someone at one go. One of the most potent arguments against the death penalty is that an innocent person may suffer it due to some mistake. We cannot get back the life lost, but can give back life to the innocent one who got imprisoned for life. This is an argument squarely based on justice, which objects to any minute possibility of injustice. Threat of punishment cannot and are not meant to deter everybody. all of the time. All of the time, no matter how big the punishment is, will not be eradicate crime. One of that feels excluded from society may not fear even loss of life in a capital punishment. Hello? The threat of execution at some future date is unlikely to enter the mind those acting under the influence of drugs or alcohol, those who are in the grip of fear or rage, those who are panicking while committing crime, or those who suffer from mental illness or mental retardation and do not fully understand the gravity of their crime. The state of putting people to death sets a bad example, encouraging violence. The state first.
Mohan, you are requested to switch on your camera, please.
You have only 2 minutes left. Sir, kindly allow him to switch on the mic.
Mohan is not here.
Okay, I think there is some issue.
Is there any participant left? Then you can continue with him or her. Just give a last call.
The final call. Shalini Singh, Miss Shalini Singh. Miss Shalini Singh, this is the final call and you will not be allowed to speak after this. So are they here?
No, I don't think.
Mr. Shahrukh Sheikh and Mr. Dharmendra Giri. This is the final call and you will not be allowed to speak after this.
All three of them are not present.
So can we wait for 2 minutes so that we give exposure to them?
Yeah, sure. In the meanwhile, the other participants can prepare their rebuttal questions that they want to counter. The panelists would be allowed to ask their question during the rebuttal round to the participants if they want. The time for the rebuttal round is maximum 3 minutes. Exceeding the time will lead to deduction of your marks.
And you will be only allowed to speak one by one. So if one question is asked, do not hurry. So we will allow you all to speak for 3 minutes. Ms. Shalini Singh. Mr. Shahrukh Sheikh and Mr. Dharmendra Giri. So can you please write on the group? I have written already.
Just wait for 2 minutes, otherwise we'll start with the rebuttal round.
Sir, did any of them join?
No. Let's start with the rebuttal round then. Just call the participant one by one.
So I would just request Ms. Shalini Singh, Shahrukh Sheikh, and Dharmendra Giri. Please, if you people are here or if anyone can inform them. Sir, I think they are not here, so we can start with the rebuttal round. Okay, so before starting with the rebuttal round, I would like to say you all that rebuttals have 5 points. So if any person is putting forward the question and the other team person, any of the other team's member, they are like answering this, so we'll judge on that basis, and you will have 5 points.
If you want to answer, just raise your hand. I'll just unmute you, and it will be a one by one process. Don't be in a hurry.
Yes, so I would ask the people who were for the debate to put forward their questions. See, rebuttals are having 5 points, so each of you will be marked individually on that, and we have, I think it is known to all that we have 20 marks, so 5 is for the rebuttal. So if you ask question or if you answer, so you are going to get points on that. So this is a basic add-on. So kindly ask your question to the against team. If you don't want to mention anyone's name, that is also fine. You can just put forward the question.
And you all can unmute yourself.
Yes, you all can unmute yourself.
I think Rahul.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Rahul.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you're audible.
Yeah. This question is for Miss Dr. Archana, ma'am. Ma'am, you have told that media prosecution must be done. The particular persons, the particular culprit should be brought before the media and they must be prosecuted in front of the media. Ma'am, I strongly oppose you because, sorry, pardon me, but I strongly oppose it because it may become something chaos, ma'am, because people think that they will try to commit more and more because if the media prosecution is there, people will think that, khatam, we will do some kind of a thing, some kind of mistake, some kind of crime, and within one day we'll become famous. Okay, we have done something wrong, but within one day we are going to become the heroes and everybody, हम हर किसी के मुंह में हम ही रहेंगे. Everybody will speak about us, ma'am. Here I just wanted to tell you one thing. I hope you all remember Mr. idiot Mukesh Gupta, who was one of 4 culprits of Nirbhaya Act. Ma'am, I think many of you might have seen a small video has been released. BBC interviewed the Mukesh Gupta. Not the whole video has been released, but a small video clipping was leaked, I suppose. then I don't think, and I have not seen any kind of fear in his eyes, and I don't think that he is feeling some kind of pity. He is telling, huh, the woman during the night, if she wears some kind of, pardon me, some kind of short dress, then it is that she is provoking us. See, what kind of bloody hell is that? And I don't know who's that greater and greatest person who interviewed him. If a good person is interviewing him, he could have given him a slap, or he could have smashed him, but he interviewed him in a great way, like he's interviewing Mr. Modi or someone, Abdul Kalam or some great people. And I don't think that doing like that will make the people understand about the situation, but the people will think that doing these kind of things, we will enter into media and we will become the heroes within one day. So pardon me, ma'am, extremely. I don't think I strongly oppose you. And one more thing I wanted to tell, many of them, Ankita Sinha ji and many more, told that maintaining a criminal or a victim, maintaining a criminal or a culprit in a jail is bit costlier than killing him within one day. But I don't support this. One survey has been done, and according to that, maintaining one person,
Rahul, you have 1 minute
criminal
left.
or one criminal or one culprit in jail around cost 30,000 per year. And when these guys or given capital punishment, the people, the talari or the executioner will be given more than 20,000 of cash for him as doing that work. And the things which procedures and all the things will take much more costlier than maintaining him for 1 year. So I also oppose these things. That's all. Thank you.
Can I speak, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Rahul ji, I agree with you that killing is costly than maintaining, because when we are maintaining the criminals, we can make them work, we can make them do productive, like money making works, we can make them do. It works in making in bringing change in them, and also like this is I totally agree that killing is costly than maintaining. Okay. And second point, my point, I didn't say about media prosecution, Rahul ji. I only said that, see, it is presenting the criminal in front of the media. The purpose of it is not to see fear in his eyes or to make him feel guilty. The first point I said, I only talked about brutal criminals who need to go for, like, whom everybody want to be given awarded capital punishment, should be interviewed, should be asked rational questions in front of the media. The only purpose of asking it is to increase the awareness in the society. People should understand why something is happening. We need the rationality behind it. We need the conditions. What kind of conditions made a person to do something, to act in an unnatural way, which is not expected from any ordinary man, any ordinary human being. Generally, they won't be brutal in any society. If somebody is doing something very unnatural, which is not expected of any normal man, we need to know what is the rationale behind it, what is the real reason that is causing it. And by asking reflective questions publicly, like, I'm only talking about, not about pickpocketers and all, only about the kind of brutal criminals whom people think deserve capital punishment. Such kind of people should be questioned publicly, to know, to increase awareness among the public, to make everybody know, to analyze the root cause of the crime. See, if there is some disease, for example, there is some skin disease, and if it is tropically given a cream, it may not solve. It may
ma'am, you're running out of the time.
Yeah. So to solve any problem, I believe that we should go into the root of that problem. To analyze the root of the problem, this helps, including causing awareness. Thank you.
Ankita Sinha.
Yeah. Hi. Actually, my question is not for a particular person. It is for all the person who are actually anti, death penalty thing. So I want to support my view with the we all must be knowing the famous line that prevention is better than cure. Okay. So I must say that why we are waiting for the gone condition. Actually, what I feel personally, that we have to understand the psychology of these people. These offenders who are committing, heinous crime, which is beyond the cruelty. These are such heinous crimes. These are the planned crimes. These are not like the hit of the moment it happened. Okay, so we can say that these are the human errors or human mistake. These are the planned kind of planned. Their psychology is like criminal minded, and these people are not respecting. They are not seeking for any kind of rehabilitation or any kind of productivity in their life. What they are seeking like, we get the chance and we get absconded, and now they will play the police chor wala jo hota hai, that play. Okay, and just wasting the time of police force and all the judicial services. We know that our Indian courts are already overloaded with the overloaded cases, and being as a developing country like India, which is having limited resources, okay, with the highest population, 135 crore population, is it really worth, just as as my fellow participant just said, that maintenance cost is really very high. Okay, we are ready to give the maintenance cost, the family process for family visits and all. But what about the what we are seeking in return of it? We're just wasting the time. Our Indian courts are already overloaded. We cannot take risk. We cannot take unnecessary resources, wasting resources in such people who have no realization. At least realization to who? There is a judgment. I must represent here that there is a judgment, one of the famous judgment in case of the Dhananjay Chatterjee, Honorable Justices A.S. Anand and N.P. Singh, Supreme Court of India. He said that the justice demand that the court should impose punishment befitting the crime. It means that the crime, it should be it means this punishment, it should be in depending on the atrocity of the crime. If the crime is heinous crime, you see, these are the planned crimes. Because such people, they don't deserve to to be called as a human. They are animals, what I say.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
One more thing I want to clarify.
Ankita ji, I believe that. Yeah.
One more thing I want to clarify. Please restrict yourself in English only. Don't speak in Hindi or any other regional languages.
Okay.
Ankita ji, I believe that when we make prisoners work. Okay, so video is off. Okay. Yeah. Ankita ji, I believe that if prisoners are made to work, they are earning their food. When they are earning their own food, when they are working, see, ours, as you said, I agree, ours is a developing country still, and we have many manual works. When police personnel make these people work, they are even a prisoner is a human resource. He's a human being who can contribute for the society, just as any other human being. If he is working, then it's not like treating him like a king, making him sit inside the prison and only providing food. No, we'll make him work. When we make prisoners work, then there is not much to think about maintenance cost. And when compared to killing them, we are losing a human resource who can work, who can contribute for the country. By making him contribute for the country, contribute for the people, by making him do lot of manual work or any work, we are also lessening his guilt. Like, we are also making him feel less pain of the wrong what he did. Okay, so might have done some brutal wrong at a moment of irrational passion or some irrational second. See, everybody is normal, I believe. Like even such person might have been more normal, and in some situations because of those conditions became irrational, lost the thought and murdered somebody or did something irrational. So when they start thinking, they may be feeling guilty also. When we make them work, that is good for everybody than just killing them.
But ma'am, I respect. May I talk?
Yeah.
May I reply? Yeah. Acha. Sorry. So I must say that I respect your views. No doubt, it is really good. But practically, what I think, that is my view. That is what I personally I feel. Practically, it is not changed, because over over a night or over a couple of nights, drastic change in the personality. Something which is based in your character. The rooted thing. What I personally feel, the person he is
Not overnight, not overnight.
planned.
He is imprisoned for life. He is imprisoned for life, and he'll be working for life.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption. Please let her finish.
Okay.
One by one, I told you.
Okay.
See, so the drastic change, what we are actually expecting, personally, I feel that it is not practical. First of all, because what I already mentioned it, that it is heinous crime is something like which is planned crime. See, he is planned. His he might be brought up like a criminal. So I don't think so. Okay, like spending a number of years in changing his personality, I don't think so. I don't find it practical actually. That's it. I don't find it practical. Thank you.
Whether he may change or may not change, but because he is helpless, he is inside the prison. My point is, we can make him work, we can make him be productive and maintain him as a human resource, and giving him also the punishment of life imprisonment, being inside for life. And whenever he does any mistake, even in that stage, he can be sent to solitary confinement, which is very dangerous, which damages a person physically, mentally, with all his capabilities. See, for 30 days or for some time, and again made him get back to the stream of other prisoners and work. This is my opinion. Thank you.
No more.
I think so, Mr. Somajit had a question. He has raised his hand for many times.
Yeah, just a second. But Ankita and Dr. Archana will be not allowed to get any more rebuttals. Rahul and can just talk, and after that we'll be giving the chance to Somajit.
Somajit also.
Yes, we'll be giving chance to Somajit after Rahul.
Yeah. Just I wanted to bring one small point to the view that even the capital punishment is based on even religion. See, Mr. I don't remember his name exactly. Dera Baba, I suppose. He got even proved guilty, and he raping some minor girls and all. But what happened to him? He was just simply jailed. Why he is not being hanged? And one more thing, NI has filed a case against one of the bishop, that particular Jalandhar bishop. So where are the laws working here? Why ours is secular country? Then why our laws are not secure? Sorry, ours is a secular country. So I just wanted to ask a question: why our laws are not secular? The particular law should be equal to everybody. All the religions should follow the similar law, same law. Why different laws for different religions? For some different triple talaq for Muslim man, go to courts and procedure, and this for Hindus and Christian. Why these choice? I just wanted to ask this. That's all. Thank you.
Somajit, you can continue.
Yes, thank you, sir. I have a few questions. The first one, I think, is directed to, I think Rahul. Rahul said this, that I think he said his neighbor or someone who was a 8 months year old baby girl who was raped, and the accused was found guilty, and then the court left him due to I think insanity or something.
Mental imbalance.
Mental imbalance. Correct. Absolutely correct. Mental imbalance. So, and you were agitated by it. You were saying that why, when he has committed a crime, he should be punished. So you wanted capital punishment, right? Then why? And the rapist got free due to insanity. So you were agitated because the capital punishment is not given to you. Or let me finish, then you can answer. So that is the main thing, that you want capital punishment, but since the court has not given due to insanity, you got agitated. So, but you are against capital punishment. So what is this hypocrisy that you are on? Okay. Second of all, the question, another one, I think one person said that Article 21, life and liberty except in procedure established by law. So that is the whole thing, that everyone is given the right to life, but it is all that can be also taken away by a proper procedure by law. And the person also asked that criteria for rarest of rare. I think that is mentioned. He said that it's not clear, but it is mentioned in Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab, and the Supreme Court clearly opined that we have only two options of punishment. That is one, either imprisonment for life, and another, that is death penalty for heinous of crimes. So when in most cases, we have to choose between the two, and they said that when the other option is questionably foreclosed, the death penalty is given. Okay, and third person. So one person also stated, I think Mohan stated that if a person is mentally retarded or insane, or commits a crime under influence of alcohol or drugs or anything like that, I will say to him that those who commits this won't get death penalty, because that's a defense in the criminal law. So those who are insane or under influence of drugs or alcohol, or that is a defense in criminal law. And to respected Ma'am Dr. Archana, ma'am said that media trials, people should come in media and say that what is the root cause. It's been done many times before, when few hardcore terrorists are also.
Because you're running out of the time.
Okay. So one second. So if we so what's the use of the judiciary if we bring people in front of media and questioning, and and many times the criminal said that just now Rahul only was saying that the rapist that of the Nirbhaya case, that if the girl is wearing shorts, they are provoking us. So these are the criminal mindset. I think they cannot be changed. And ma'am also said that in human resource, I think, and life imprisonment is not for the whole life, is not for until you die. Most cases it's for 14 years. And 14 years you make the man work, cost this, that, resources. What about after 14 years? He will go ahead and do the same thing once again. So I think this is where in some cases death penalty should be given and cannot be paused away entirely. Thank you.
So I think the rebuttal ground is over, and I hope no one has nothing to say. So
I have a question.
Okay,
Can
fine. Yeah, you can, but try to wrap up early.
May I?
Please tell the name.
Sorry, I have. Right?
Sorry, Rahul, yeah, you
Can
can
I ask one question? Hello?
May I?
Rahul, we can't give you a chance. We can give chance to Faisal and Raju Mistry if he wants.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask?
I am raising this argument against all persons supported the capital punishment. India is following a reformatory theory of punishment. What is reformatory theory of punishment? Gives us what is this theory? Here I can give you an example. That's Nirbhaya case. First, the prosecution age was 18 years to a man. After the Nirbhaya case, it is amended and it 16 years also can prosecute in the rape cases. That is the reformation. In the case, someone told that reformation is not in Indian situations. Otherwise, which theory we can select? Can we select the retributive theory? If we choose retributive theory, that means eye for an eye, teeth for tooth. it will not become a peaceful Indian state. It will become a handicapped Indian state. Thank you.
Okay, so I think Mr. Raju Mistry, you were to ask some questions.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, please ask.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yeah, you are audible.
My answer is that yes. See, in this case, Article 21 is for everybody. If an accused is a habitual offender, he is killing someone, then that person who dies, there also right of Article 21 is violated, and habitual criminals, they are if they are put inside the jail, inside the prison, they also crime. There is a chance of making a crime over there also, and one habitual criminal mindset is that they never changes. Hardcore criminal make a crime and at anywhere. If they put behind bar and for longer year also, they will not change. My answer is that.
Okay, so I think Rahul, you were to speak something. Can you wrap up between 1 minute?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, Somajit Rai Karnakarji, you just opposed me. I respect your
Yes, yes.
views,
Please
but
just wrap up your
I,
points within one
yeah,
half minutes.
yeah. I never supported the. I never stood against my views. I just told that I just wanted to tell why this kind of bias, why some different kind of rules to different people. I just wanted to tell in that way. Then you mistook me completely. And one more thing, I just wanted to tell. Life imprisonment is different from that 14 years. According to me, life imprisonment is completely different. Life imprisonment is given in grievous offences. For whole life, he has to die in the jail. I suppose. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think the rebuttal grounds.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes.
Can I add
Can
one
I
point?
can I answer to the last question?
Archana ma'am, it's
So
not. I can't allow you because I've got 3 chances. Somojit, just the final chance.
Yeah, no, sir. Rahul, sir, you are. I think you are mistaken. In most of the cases, and even in Supreme Court, in a case, time and again has said that I forgot the judge's name. Said that in most of the cases, it's 14 years. Life imprisonment doesn't mean that you will stay in a prison for till your death. It's 14 years, and it can be decided on whether you're performing well or whether you're behaving well. It can be increased 15, 16, 20, but it's not till the end of your life. It's always the basic is 14 years, and if you are well behaved and if you have shown signs of improvement, you will be released. It's not till you die. Thank you.
okay, so Archana ma'am, just can you wrap up within 30 seconds and add your point?
Yeah, just one point I missed, which I want to say. Like, if capital punishment is given to somebody who is innocent, like see, mistakes can happen anytime. There's a possibility of mistake to happen, and statistics say that many innocents also got convicted with all fake proofs and all. See, the law should not punish even 100 wrong people can escape, but not one innocent should be punished. Even this problem can be solved by going for lifetime imprisonment than capital punishment. If an innocent person got killed, he can't get back his life. But if an innocent person was in prison for 10 years, 12 years, as it happened for some people, at least after that time he could come out proving his innocence. There is a possibility for him to get back his life. So
Ma'am,
I
actually
believe
the
that,
time is
yeah.
over.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we have question from the core team. That is general question. That is that mistakes are sometimes made in the law. So what if someone is killed who is actually innocent? So any of you can answer. Should I repeat the question? mistakes
repeat
are
the question.
sometimes made in the law. So what if, yes, mistakes are sometimes made in the law. So what if someone is killed who is actually innocent?
Can I answer to this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I think recently for the recent judgments, I think when the Supreme Court is taking 8 years of time to punish and give a death sentence, and when so many defense lawyers are there fighting your case, I think there is no chance of innocence. And Supreme Court has time and again emphasized on 100% proof of the criminal's criminality, and then only the death penalty can be given. And there are so many ways. It should be proven in a trial court, then it moves on to the higher court, then the Supreme Court, and then again you can move to the president for mercy petition. I think and in Nirvaya case it took 8 years. 8 years a case has been fought in a court, and I think there is no chance of innocence for the criminal. And it is only given when there is 100% proof. In the last 20 years, I think 4 or 5 persons has been executed. Yaqub Menon, he accepted, and there was 100% proof. Even the terrorist Kasab, and even these 4 persons, Nirvaya, they also accepted the whole thing. And so there is no chance of innocence in this.
So another question we have that application of the death penalty tends to be arbitrary and capricious. For similar crimes, some are sentenced to death while others are not. I'll just repeat my question. Application of the death penalty tends to be arbitrary and capricious. For similar crimes, some are sentenced to death while others are not. So anyone can answer.
Can you repeat the question?
Your question
yes,
was
sir.
not clear.
Application of the death penalty tends to be arbitrary and capricious. So for similar crimes, some are sentenced to death while others are not. So how you going to answer this?
The rarest of the rare is the ground for ordering. Rarest of the rarest is the ground for the issuing death penalty. But there is a problem in that is the rarest of rarest is never defined. What is rarest of the rarest doctrine? That is the problem in death penalty. But I also have to add something more. That is the death penalty giving means a fear, making a fear in human minds. Is that possible to create fear in human minds? They will change. Who can think that? The humans will change because of the fear. The human will change only because of the love and care. It is the human basic nature. So that the reformation theory is only applicable in the modern world, in law also.
Okay, Mr. Faisal, sorry, we are running out of the time, and the time was 1 minute.
Can I add point? Can I answer also for that?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Please wrap up early.
Yeah, I agree that capital punishment is arbitrary and capricious. So this can also be an injustice by the law if awarded capital punishment in such a way. We know that things are very uncertain. Sometimes for the same issue, different judges will give different judgments. It depends on the sometimes it depends on chance, and this can also contribute for the injustice if a life is lost like that. So I agree with that question, and I opine that life imprisonment is better than capital punishment.
Okay, so I think that is the end of our debate. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, and every core members and all the participants. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question to Dr. Archana, ma'am.
Sorry, but we are not allowing questions because we are already running out of the time.
Okay.
Sir, can we give him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Saubhagya, just a question only.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So, ma'am, you spoke that life imprisonment is the better than capital punishment. So, ma'am, will it stop the crime from happening again?
Please repeat.
Hello. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
please
Am
yeah, your voice is breaking. Please repeat.
am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, okay, I'm asking. Maybe some technical issues are occurring. So, my question is that, ma'am, you spoke that life imprisonment is better than capital punishment. So, ma'am, the question is that will it stop the crime from happening again?
it cannot it may yeah, it contributes to some extent to deter the crime, because capital punishment kills the wrongdoer at one go. People may forget about it, but if the person who did wrong is imprisoned for life, and that if media is giving information about him, what all he is doing, all that for a long period of time, and also people who know about him, know about his story, will have fear for long period of time. Okay, as long as he's inside the prison, as long as he's suffering, as long as he's feeling guilty for all the wrong, because the time is extended, the effect of it on people, on others thinking of doing the crime, it is more compared to somebody who got killed in capital punishment. See, somebody is killed, we'll think about it for 1 week, 1 month, all media and everybody forget after that.
Yeah.
This because he's inside for a long period of time, and even media also talks about him, it increases the fear in the society, it will have impact for long time, so it can reduce the crime compared to capital punishment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I have a last session, please?
No, he was Saubhagya was permissible because he was from the court team to ask question.
Yes, in fact, I didn't see his video, so I thought he may be a participant. So
Yeah.
anyone from the core team, if you want to ask, you can ask, but not the participants.
No further questions.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, so I think it was a very great session, and thank you every one of the members who participated and also who stayed for the whole debate competition. So I think we may take a leave now and start for the next team.
Thank you so much for your being a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
It was an enriching experience. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you everyone. Sir, should we leave the meeting and join again?
No. It is the same link. Just give a message in the group C that everyone needs to join first.
Okay, sir, I've given her just give a final.
Yeah. Just a reminder. The people who are there for the group C can stay. Group A may leave. The panelists are requested to stay in the meeting.
Now, Rupama, this is for the group C, right?
Yes, group C.
Okay.
The participants of the group C, please put your camera on. We'll be calling out your names and then we'll be unmuting you one by one and you can speak your points. Don't exceed your time for 5 minutes. If you're exceeding your time, your marks will be deducted. And for the rebuttal round, 3 minutes is maximum time limit. So don't exceed the time. And I request all the participants to please switch on their cameras of group C.
Saubhagya sir, hello.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Sir, do you know the marking scheme, or should I say you once more?
Yes, yes, I know the marking scheme. I know, sir. I know. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, yeah. So actually your
Oh,
video was not visible that time, so
no,
I
it's okay,
thought.
okay. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
Sneha will wait for 5 minutes. At
Yes,
6:55, we'll start.
yes, I have given them the final call. So once they join, I'll call by them.
Sure. Participants of group A requested to leave the session.